And welcome back to another episode of From Corner to Corner, Coach's Corner. We're live and in person. I got Wes here with me, and he's leaving apparently. Okay, no, he's just switching seats. You can't. You realize there's one camera. You're freaking me out. There's two cameras.
No, we only got this camera right now.
My goodness, this is this.
That way they can see us.
This is a rookie job right here.
No rookie job.
Okay, so sorry, we are live from the Community Trust Bank Studios here on North Maysville. This is the From Corner to Corner Coaches Corner presented by Community Trust Bank.
Your friends in banking.
Member FDIC.
Equal housing lender.
Thanks for joining us live on Facebook and YouTube, all you folks that are YouTubers. Before we get started, we'd like to take a moment and thank our sponsors who help make this happen. We have Community Trust Bank. We have Kim Soft. They sponsor our Athlete of the Week. We have Tutu Sweet Treats. They sponsor our Dog of the Week. CRC Renovations, Kentucky Realty Group, Jacobs Auto Body, and Brett Wehunt's Kentucky Farm Bureau in Frenchburg, who sponsors our Menifee County Athletes of the Month. Thank you guys for all your sponsorships. And while you're at it, go ahead and share this out to all your friends, families, aunts, uncles, second cousins, people you went to high school with. Doesn't matter.
Smash the like button.
Smash that like button. Share it out. Let people know that we're talking tonight to Coach Bradley Craycraft of the Montgomery County Volleyball Indians. And that's a new thing. It's going to stick. You're the Volleyball Indians.
T-shirts. Make them out.
And with him are seniors, Grayson Cord and Morgan Purvis. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Woo! Well, so volleyball season is over.
Yes.
Tell us how the season wrapped up.
Ended a little sooner than we wanted it to. Got bit by the injury bug in the last week of the season, and
it's apparently carried over.
Yeah, I guess unfortunately, it carried into her club season. But, Allie went down in the next to last game of the season. And, when you go into the district tournament against a team that's played with the same lineup for a year and a half, and I had a practice and a half to get ready for it, we fought. I couldn't be more proud of the girls. We went 5 sets twice with a team that, like I said, their lineup was the same all year long, and we had one practice. So right. I was proud of the girls. I was proud of our fight. Just couldn't make enough plays at the end.
Yeah. So what do we think about next year? Coming in next year, obviously we are losing 3 seniors, correct?
Yes.
The 2 that are with us today, and Allie Dillon, who's currently prepping for district play in basketball. Yes. What do we have coming back?
I'm really excited about what we have coming back. It's going to be tough to replace what we were losing, just because they were all such important parts to what we did. Grayson, you're looking at 1,700 assists. You're having to replace. Morgan did a really good job of holding down the middle, getting kills when we needed it, getting good block touches. And then Allie just plays at such a different level at the net with her vertical ability. It's just tough thing to replace. But it's going to be kind of fun. Me and my dad were talking about the other day, and we have a lot of that talent that you're not going to hear a lot about.
Right.
But we're going to surprise some people. Everyone's going to know Alexis White after she was second team all-region this year. Sarah Zink will be a name now that she's committed. When you're a D1 athlete, everyone's going to be like, hey, there's that girl that's going to Coastal Carolina.
Right.
She's probably pretty good. But Bailey Warner's going to be going into her 3rd year of volleyball ever. She could be one of the best middles in the region. Sophie Fouch is going to be another good one that they're just now getting into the swing of things, but they're going to be really good pieces for us.
Well, and the names they're athletes.
Yeah.
The kind of athletes that could go out probably any sport, bowling, croquet, tennis, and probably be very successful.
Oh, absolutely. And it doesn't just stop at those that I've named.
Right.
We have plenty, we have a deep team, and there's plenty of talent, and it's another one of those years where if we're not successful, it's more on me than it is on them.
Did you say croquet?
I did croquet.
Yeah, what's that?
Do we have?
It is a club. It's a club sport here. You have club day at school? Have you never seen the croquet club?
Is that crochet?
No, crochet is what you do with needles. Croquet club. Check it out this time.
This shows you how old we are. Even you're getting old now. You're getting old now.
So volleyball also, like basketball, football. Sometimes it comes down to Jimmy's and Joe's, right? Like if you can put better players, better athletes than anybody else you play, you're going to win a lot of games.
Absolutely. I mean, the only thing that separates, like I tell people, the only thing that separates us from like the Scott Highs is Scott High has 10, 11 girls that they play volleyball year round. I have 10, 11 girls that are just good athletes. It's just they're also really good at softball. They're really good at basketball.
Right.
So I mean, for the few months I get them, that's why it's so awesome to see how great they can be because they do it in such a short period of time.
Right.
Without those extra dedicated 8 months to the sport.
Right. So Grayson, you just wrapped up your senior year.
Yes.
In volleyball, you still have a couple months left, actually in the school building,
Yes.
and you just committed recently to play to continue your volleyball career. Tell us about your now that you've had a time to sit back and think about it. Tell us about your career as a volleyball player.
Well, volleyball has been my life pretty much the last 7 years. And I still think about the last game that I played for Montgomery County.
Yeah.
And I know that I will always be like, oh, I wish I could have done this. I wish I could have done that. But I think I'm leaving behind the program in really good hands with the girls.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited to be going to Asbury, though. As soon as I stepped on that campus, I was like,
this is it.
I can see myself here for the next 4 years.
Yeah. What's your major going to be?
I think I'm going to major in psychology,
Okay.
or I'm going to go in the medical field.
Okay. All right.
So are you playing club ball currently?
Yes.
Okay, so I didn't know if
I'm also
they would
running
kind of
track.
allow you, if they wanted to kind of take that time, or they would start practice early, Asbury, or you all would be allowed to play club before you started into, August or whenever you all start for college.
So you're allowed to play club your senior year. So I'll still go to nationals for my club, and that's in June.
Okay,
So I won't start practicing with Asbury till July, August.
got you. And obviously, same for you, Morgan.
Yeah,
Except for now, it's got a little bit of a
got a little
hiccup.
bit of a dent in it.
Yeah.
So Morgan, why don't you? Same question I asked Grayson. Why don't you talk about your time playing volleyball for the Montgomery County Volleyball Indians?
It was great. Like Grayson said, the last game, something that I'll always you always want that one more, that 5 more minutes on the court.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm so excited to see what they have coming up in the future, like Bailey and Sophie. They're Bailey's crazy. Even Erin Fawn's coming up. She's gonna be crazy good, and she's so humble about it too. But and then Cumberland's I'm so excited. I got to go up and meet some of the girls the weekend after I committed. And I actually know a girl that I play club with. She's going up there too. So I'm really excited. They all want to be there. They all share the same interest, and the campus up there is just insane. I don't want to go to a big school. It's just so homey feeling. So I'm really excited for it.
So, and what's your
Nursing.
major? Nursing. Okay. So come back to both of you on this. What is your, Asbury and Cumberland's? What are they like at the next? Do they have good teams?
Asbury has a really good team. I think they just changed their conference too, so we're going to be traveling farther
Okay.
and more. But they have a really good team. I think they're going to have a lot of seniors this year leaving though. But I think they have a lot of girls coming in also.
Cumberland's, they actually won their conference. We went and watched them. They won their conference last year. They have really good. They have some crazy tall girls. It's insane. I thought I was tall, and then I go and I'm looking up to them. But
Right.
So yeah, they're really good.
So I'm always fascinated by this. What is your expectation coming in as freshmen? I mean, do you hope to, prove yourself? Do you hope to get earn some playing time? What's your goals?
I 100%, I hope and I pray that I get playing time. But no matter what, I'm going to work my hardest in the gym, out of the gym, whatever I can do. I was talking to my stepdad, yes, I'm going to Asbury, but I'm still working my butt off to get better and grow. And I love Asbury as a school, and it might be my place for the next 4 years, but it might also not be my place because I want to continue to grow and go up and get better.
Yep.
And that's kind of why I also started track this season, because I want to get faster, and I also wanted to give myself a little bit of time away from volleyball to see how much like I really can improve in volleyball too.
Right.
But I think running track is going to help me get faster. And although I don't have the height, I can still work on my speed and my vertical also.
Right.
Because there's some girls that are committed D1 that I was shocked because they're not as tall as I thought that they would be, but their vertical is up there. So that helps them.
Well, so I played soccer in college, and it is amazing. Like you hear D1, and D1's a huge deal, right?
Yeah.
But you go out and you see some, like we scrimmaged a Division I team, and it's like, I mean, these guys aren't that much better.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of times it's what club did you play for, or what connections do you have?
Yes.
Now that's not taking away from their talent,
Right.
Yeah.
but we have, and I think coming from a small town, I think sometimes you get overlooked at that level because we just don't have the opportunities that bigger schools do. Right. So just because, I tell people, look at that. Hey, we got people waving at us. They're my kids. A lot of people don't understand what it takes. I played junior college.
Right.
They don't understand what it takes to play at the junior college level, or what it takes to play at the D3 level or NAI level. Like, it's the same amount of commitment. It's just what level you're at. So kudos to both of you all for getting to play at the next level. That talks leaps and bounds about you all as athletes. So what's your goal, Morgan? I mean, do you hope to come in and contribute immediately?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, when we went up there and I had that practice, it was crazy. They were all like robots. Their warm-ups were just so intense. Like, it was just crazy to see. Like, it's definitely going to be like so much more work than even like what club is. And so I'm excited to just go in and like work my hardest. They send out workouts that we have to start doing like as a team, like apart obviously, but in April. So when we get those in, it'll be interesting to see how it's going to go for the next 4.
Yeah, get that boot off first.
Yeah. Hopefully it comes off mid-March. So.
Well, one of the things that I've noticed here, the Cumberlands are racking up in Montgomery County here lately.
A lot of Montgomery County athletes.
Yeah. I know them, and Campbellsville is up here a lot, and so they're trying to keep those kids close to home, because we just had Noah on last week that's going to the Cumberland. So back-to-back weeks that we've had Cumberland kids on here. So that's pretty cool. So,
Coach, let me ask you, as the coach of the high school team, what role do you play in marketing your players?
I always make sure we have Huddle up and running and ready, just because, I mean, that's the easiest thing for them to be able to do is, they get in contact with a coach, and that coach says, well, I need film. Well, they can immediately jump to that Huddle, and they can pull their highlights, and boom, they can get a coach film. I mean, sometimes within 30 seconds.
Right.
But then I've got all kinds of friends in the coach. Like, I know Tiffany, that's the coach over at Asbury that Grayson's going to go play for. I've got players I coached in club that I know the coaches down at Cumberland's. Like, I know coaches everywhere. So it's just a matter of, like, you tell me where you want to go, and I promise I probably have a connection, whether it's a direct connection or whether it's I know this guy that can say something to her that can get in contact with me so they can get in contact with you. Right. So, I mean, it's just, I'll do anything. If they come to me and they say, hey, I want to play at the next level, I'm going to do whatever I can do to get them there.
Absolutely. And, it's that only helps your program, right? I mean, the more players you can put playing at the next level, you get to, look what they're doing. And, you played for 7 years, Grayson. How long did you play, Morgan?
6.
6 years. I mean, so you got 6, 7 year players. Like, here's where she was. Here's where she's at now. She's playing at the next level. So, I mean, that's a good marketing tool even for your program.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what I've in the past 3 years, we went from having – I don't remember the last fall, honestly. I think Brittany Centers may have been – who's my assistant. She may have been the last volleyball player to go play college volleyball. Well, no, Bella Cameron did. Bella Cameron, she was like class of 2014. But other than that, we've had 4 in the past 3 years.
Right.
Brianna Turpining's the libero at Spalding. Annie Ledford's starting for Georgetown. And then you'll have these 2 going to their respective universities. So, I mean, it's one of those, if you want to do it, like we've shown we can put you there. Right. You just got to be willing to work for it. And that's something that these 4 that are going, like their work that they've put in, like it's not a small amount. Like you've got to be willing to put in the time.
Well, and also, you have to be willing to put in the effort in the classroom as well.
Yes.
So, again, kudos to you guys. So, Coach, let's talk about Youth League.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't we get a Youth League volleyball program up and going?
I'm working on it. The club I used to coach at, the director ran the youth program in Georgetown,
Mhm.
and she's helping me kind of get, because it's one of those things I just don't want to start it
Right.
and it not be something that we can build on.
Right.
I want it to be a good experience. I want there to be like, the right coaches in the
Mhm.
right positions. In my youth program, like I've told her, I said, I want my high school program involved. That way you have that kind of, I can remember going to basketball games when I was a little kid and, seeing, Timmy Thacker and those guys run out there like, wanting to high five them. I want that atmosphere. Like, they come play in the youth league and then they come run out on the floor and they're like, oh, there's Tia. Like, Mom, can I go take a picture with Tia?
Right.
Have like kids wanting to like have t-shirts, like I want that kind of a feel with it.
Mhm.
So like, I'm working on that. I'm probably still about a year out for me
Okay.
being comfortable starting it, but I'm going to talk with my boosters, because one thing I do want to do, I want to do like a youth week, and where we like, when we come back from dead period, I've got my roster set. We'll practice for about an hour and 15 minutes. And then parents, if you want to bring your kids, bring them on. We'll work with them for, the last hour and 15 minutes. And if these girls, like these college girls are still around, like we get them in the gym, let them interact with them. And then, like I said, it'd be cool where we do the Rec Bowl every year, do like a blind draw.
Yeah.
And each one of those girls that wins that blind draw, they get to come out with the starting lineup for
Right.
the Rec Bowl.
Right.
Just something cool like that to get it more involved.
Right. And, you were talking about the four that you currently have playing. You look at like even camps and you got four
Right.
collegiate players that come back and help and can help run that. But the reason I ask is my daughter's in 6th grade and she tried out for volleyball this year.
Mhm.
Of course, she didn't make it. But, I told her that was, that could happen. I mean, you're not
6th grade is probably the toughest year to make the team, because the mass amount of girls that comes out. I mean, like the last time I coached in middle school, I think we had probably a combined 40, 45 girls for 7th and 8th grade.
It was a lot.
6th grade was like 55 to 60.
Yeah, it
just 6th grade.
It was a lot. But prior to trying out, she had no competitive volleyball experience. They played volleyball in PE in elementary school and stuff, but that's not competitive volleyball.
No.
Right? That's, you're still serving underhanded and stuff like that. That's my kind of volleyball. That's the kind of volleyball I get down with. But, you look at it from your standpoint, like if we're going to continue to put teams that go to the Elite Eight, if we're, win district and win region, we're going to have to get that pipeline going.
Yes, absolutely. And that's something. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, that's something I've been, just because, you look and, I've watched sports over the years. That used to be like Mason County whenever they were on all their big runs, like their basketball programs, from the kids playing Pee Wee basketball to the kids playing high school. They're learning the same stuff. They're just learning at different speeds.
Right.
All that type of stuff. And that's what I want to grow into here.
You've got options for kids, but they have to drive to Lexington.
Yep.
I don't even know that Winchester has anything. But you have to go to Lexington. Once you get to Lexington, there's plenty of options. But it would be nice, just like you're talking about, within a year that they would have that opportunity locally, whether it's 5 teams, 6 teams, or ends up being 15 teams. Just something for those girls to get. And really, in all honesty, it may be girls and boys at this point, because am I mistaken? Did they sanction it this year, or is it next year that
24-25 will be the first year for boys volleyball being a KHSA sanctioned sport.
Right. So there's another opening for you and for whomever, if they were to open up that position here, to work together and just make it that much larger.
Right. No, that's the goal. Like volleyball, it's I've only been coaching as far as head coaching. This will be going into my 7th year, and just the amount it's grown in that time it's crazy.
Yeah.
Heck, 7 years, you're working your way up the tenure list. There aren't many coaches that have been here longer than 7 years.
I consider myself lucky. There's no place I'd rather be than Montgomery County.
Well, and you think about that youth league, and then you talk about the kids, and you see it all across America at basketball courts and football fields and it's players, kids playing as their favorite high school athlete. So you can see kids just like, oh, I want to be the next Grayson Court, or I want to be the next, I want to be the next Morgan Purvis. Like that's cool, right? Like that's what that would be super. What, you give me the finger.
No,
I was going to say, I've got a question that is in relation to that when you finish your thought there.
Okay.
Yeah.
You threw me off because you gave me the finger.
Sorry.
But I mean, so whether, and I say that to say whether you realize it or not as a high school student, like there's kids that look up to you guys, like, and you know, they watch what you do. I know my kids, we obviously go to church with Grayson, and I mean, they think the world of Grayson. Could they say walk in? It's like, oh, you know, they want to go up, give you hugs and all the things. And that's like when you think back, like I think back on my high school days, and it's like that was a huge responsibility. Like, but you don't really understand that. Mm-hmm. And but getting a youth league going, I think, and getting your players involved, not only are you getting, you know, they're giving back to the community, but you're also helping get buy-in. And you know, there's some little girls that are like, hey, I want to be just like her. I want to play the way she does. Mm-hmm. So I think that would be super cool. Now, Sean, since you interrupted me mid-thought,
sorry,
read the question.
We got a question here. Said Grayson and Morgan, what is one thing that you would tell a young lady that wants to get better in volleyball?
Wait a minute. Before you answer, I'm guessing Adam Muncie.
That would be true.
Gosh, I'm so good.
You want to go?
Don't ever settle. Like, as me, I'm committed to a D3 college, Asbury. That does not mean that I'm not going to stop getting better, going to the gym. As my stepdad was saying, I came home the other day and I was exhausted because I went and ran 3 miles with him, went to the gym, had volleyball practice. And he was like, Grayson, this is what a college life is going to look like. This is exactly what it's going to feel like, and this is what it's going to look like. So right now I'm already preparing myself I'm going to be exhausted, maybe mentally and physically, but it's about still pushing through that.
Right.
That's how you're going to get better. That's the only reason. Right. That's how some of these athletes out here are who they are today, because they push through that.
Absolutely. It's a whole different mentality.
Yes.
Yep.
I would say give yourself some grief, give yourself, don't be so hard on yourself.
Right.
Like, I would mess up so many times during games and I'd be so hard on myself, but you'd come up to me and be like, calm down, like, it's okay. And I'm like, I'm not mad at you. Like, I'm not mad at anybody else. I'm thinking in my head, and I have that look on my face, but I'm thinking in my head, what can I do? Like, how can I fix this? And I went through a stage where I could not block for the life of me.
You just forgot.
I picked up a habit. I picked up a bad habit. I was coming back and not pressing. I wasn't going up with my hand straight. And about that time, I went through 2 games where my hitting just wasn't right. So I asked Bradley one day, I was like, hey, I got to figure out how to hit. And so I worked on myself for a little bit after practice, and we hit until I got, I was getting it again. And I just had to, be hard on myself, but I had to know that, hey, this is going to happen. Mm-hmm. You just have to, what Grayson said, work through it and get better at it. So,
well, and those mental blocks are legit something, right? Mm-hmm. So I played soccer. I was a goalie, and I went through a phase where I didn't want to dive. I was borderline being scared, and it's something I had done. So I had to go out in my backyard and just for 2 hours, I just dove side to side, bruised and beat myself all up. But I got over it was just a mental block. I just couldn't do it.
I think they're the toughest.
They're super tough. So I think those are both great pieces of advice. And, it's so important to be able to, have the right mindset and be able to work through issues, because as you all start playing at the next level, you're going to have those bouts of physical exhaustion. You're going to not want to, you're going to hate your life. It's this is awful. Why did I make this decision? But you got to press on. You got to push through. And there's no doubt in my mind, and I think everybody here would agree that you both will be able to do that. Coach, what does the region look like next year?
Scott Howell will probably be the clear-cut favorite. They graduated 1, and she was a role player that I don't even know that Andrea intended on playing, just because she had a lot of talent. So they'll probably be the favorite. Campbell, I think, will fall off a little bit. They graduated 6 or 7, but they're Campbell County, so you can't ever count them out. Roster will be tough. That whole district is always going to be tough. That's what the 37th district is in volleyball, because they've got NKYVC and NKJV up there. That's 2. NKYVC is typically about a top 30 club in the nation, and NKJV is about a top 75. So, you've got that kind of volleyball up there. you're gonna have talent coming out of. GRC, they're gonna be tough. He lost a lot, but he's still got two of the better pin hitters in the region.
When you say pin hitters, what do you mean?
Outsides,
Okay.
outside hitters.
I thought we was talking bowling.
I was like, well, we just had bowling on last week, and we talked about the 5 pin and the 10 pin and all this stuff. I was like, maybe there's pins in volleyball too.
But he does. He has two of the better outsides in the region. He lost his setter, Kelsey, so that'll be tough to replace. But they'll be solid again. Bourbon will always be their typical scrappy self. I look for us to be right in the mix. Like I say, we're gonna have a bunch of girls that no one knows anything about, but the talent's there.
Yeah.
And there's lots of talent coming up through the program that if you can get it all to gel right, we'll be a dangerous group. Come
Maybe young, but your depth gets a little bit better.
yes, it's this freshman class. I mean, it gives me throwback to Ansley and them so bad it's not even funny. I mean, they're tall. Like you've got Aaron, Abigail, and Anna that are all pushing 6 foot. Ava Hudson's not far off of them. Meredith Miles reminds me a lot of Grayson Presley, you know, that type. You know, she's an 8th grader, and I can already she's already running an offense as an 8th grader. So we don't have to teach that. We get to go into other in-depth parts of setting. So just their full round as that group as a whole, like they're gonna be another special group.
Yeah. So girls, I kind of touched on this question earlier. What do you think your legacy is that you're leaving behind? Like if you look back in 5 years, 10 years after we create the Volleyball Hall of Fame and you both are in it, like what do you think your legacy that you leave the players coming up will be when they think back on Morgan and they think back on Grayson? What are they going to think?
Leave everything out on the court.
I have no doubt that is your mentality every single time.
Yes.
My thing's energy. Like, no matter if you're like, that was always my biggest thing. Like, you have to bring the energy. No matter if you're down 10, you're up 10. Like, you have to be hype. Like, I can't tell you how many times there's pictures of me. I don't know how I had to have a vertical in those pictures because I can't jump that high.
Right.
But I made it happen. Like, you just got to be able to pick your team up and you got to, like, bring the energy.
And you're talking about whether you're on the court
Or off
on
the
the
court.
bench.
Yeah.
Bring the energy either way.
Well, you know, that's something I can say about a lot of our female athletes. We were actually talking about this today. There's no lack of emotion in any of our female sports
Yep.
right now. And it's amazing to see. You know, we saw pictures from the girls game last night. And I mean, you know exactly what's going on by facial expressions the entire game. And
Yeah.
and I love that because, you know, you watch a guy's game and you're like, I don't really know what the heck's going on right. Like if you just
Right.
watch their facial expressions, like I don't really know what the heck's going on. Are we up? Are we down? Like, and there's something to be said about that.
Mhm.
But also that passion, that emotion that I think females bring to their sport is quite impressive.
Totally agree.
Oh, okay, I thought you were going to say something. You were just like, totally agree. John?
We have another question over here. Coach,
Yes.
they would like to know what game you plan on coaching in the Charlotte Hornets starter jacket.
I don't know. I have to figure that out. People make fun. I have like the teal
old school?
Hornet. No, I don't have. It's
I had one of those in high school.
no. It's my like teal Jordan Hornets warm up that I have, and every now and then, like I'll just throw it on, and that's what I coach in that night. And,
Oh my god.
I'll make that like a special occasion shirt or
You
something.
know stuff
I don't
is
want it.
serious.
I had a Colorado Rockies
The
one that I
boots.
just absolutely love. So those are great. Wear it every game.
Hey, it's comfortable. I'm the one that warms the girls up. So I mean, I'm out there. You're never going to see me out there in a shirt and tie and looking all formal.
But we will see you in cowboy boots at times because I have seen you out
That's when
there.
stuff gets real.
Absolutely.
That's when stuff gets real, huh?
Oh yeah.
So when the cowboy boots come on, coach is
You know
serious.
these mean business.
Business is about to pick up. So you all said something earlier. Is there that much of interest in boys volleyball?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
So it wouldn't be hard to fill a team.
no, I wouldn't think so. And
Do you think we can fill a team?
I've told some people, I said, if I had my pick of anybody, I said Montgomery County would have a really nice looking volleyball team in their first year ever. In a perfect world, if they all came out. But I mean,
Yeah.
I was like, you think about it. You look at our boys basketball team. They all jump, they all run. So you look at, Tice, about 6'6", Luke, 6'6", Dawson, they announced him as 6'6", so we're gonna call him 6'6". Isaiah Rowlett, 6'4". Like, we could have a real Ethan Dunn could definitely run a libero because I mean he'd touch it. He's quick as lightning. He can touch every ball. I mean, like we could have a real nice looking boys volleyball team,
and it fits.
Yeah,
season wise,
it fits season wise, and a lot of the like things you teach can transition real easy. I've taught like a couple of my guy friends that we play volleyball, and they want to learn. I said, you know how the steps you take to catch an alley oop? Like, yeah, I said that's an approach. Oh, that's easy. One of the hardest parts of volleyball taught. Just by, relating to another sport.
So, Jason Mays, if you're listening, sounds like you need to be the boys volleyball coach.
I think the boys soccer team would have a lot of interest too. Like,
oh yeah,
like how many times you see them go up and like their vertical is just insanely high, and like they'd be. Which, if you've ever watched men's volleyball, like
Yeah,
the
Hey,
vertical,
it's a whole different animal, men's volleyball.
Power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's I mean, girls. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, come watch like Sarah Zink and a few of those. Like, girls get up too, but I mean, it's just like there's so much more strategy and placement. And guys, all we care about is jump high, swing hard.
Right. Let's hit it. Jump as high as we can. Hit it as hard as we can.
Absolutely.
Preferably at that guy's face.
200 miles an hour.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, so what do you think? Of course, the volleyball game this year, Nebraska and who? Texas. That was played in the football stadium.
No, that was Nebraska and Omaha.
Yeah.
So, like,
yeah.
what is something like that's nationally televised in a football stadium and there was
90,000 people.
There was 90,000
I was going to say
people.
close to 100,000 people. Like, what does that do for the sport of volleyball?
I mean, it just shows just how much it's growing. I mean, like you go from a small stage of like a middle school game where like if you all came to a middle school game this year, like you'd have thought there was a high school team playing just because, I mean, you've got 400 or 500 people in there. But then you show that you take it up to the college level. And I mean, that wasn't a big matchup. Like it was just two schools that are close to each other wanting to do something big, but it shows just how popular it is and just how passionate people are about it.
Yeah.
And how much people want to support it. And I mean, it's a sport like, I love basketball, played basketball all my life, but I mean, you might go 15 trips up and down the court. No one does anything.
Right.
Volleyball, there's a point every time a ball goes up, every single time.
Speaking of a big spectacle like that, what's it going to take for us to get LEDs that we can turn off in the arena and turn back on,
Dude.
and have a spotlight to where when you all come out?
The LED lights are already in place. I just need a spotlight, and you better believe we would turn the lights off for starting warm-up.
Of course.
So anybody got a spotlight out there? Come on.
With the 1996 Chicago Bulls
Absolutely.
intro. Austin Maples, are you listening?
Austin's at the Board of Education meeting. That's probably just still going
Well,
on.
I don't want to get started on the Board of Education.
No,
tonight.
but they're the one that might be able to.
Yeah, well, they don't want me to talk to them. Somebody else can do the talking.
Put it up. I think maybe we start with you and every coach that comes on that plays in. I mean, even the archery people that had their tournament.
Oh, like I say,
when they come out to their thing, you turn the lights off and just.
You know where I thought you were going with that?
Hashtag spotlight. That's
Hashtag
what
spotlight.
I honest to God, thought he was like, when are we going to get to play a volleyball game on the turf, coach?
I mean,
I thought that's where that was going.
why not?
Hey, I know
That would be
I know some
fun.
people with sport courts. I mean, if we could get the
What does one of those run?
depends on the quality you get. If you get just like it's probably low end, you're looking at probably between 15, 20,000. But if you get one of the high end Terraflex courts like what UK plays on, you're looking at six figures easy.
Okay, well, 20,000.
No, we'll go one of the lower ends. We're going to work on that, Sean. It's going to be sponsored by From Corner to Corner.
That would be cool, wouldn't it? Have our big logo right out on the floor.
Right in the middle of it. Not right in the middle, just off to the side. We don't want to be too.
No, right in the middle.
No, right in the middle.
Fighting him.
I
Move over.
Be
We
like,
can make it like a from corner
you
to
stand
corner
back there on
panorama type
Muncie's
thing.
face, and you stand over there on Neil's face.
But here's the thing: if we do that, I get to be a judge.
Absolutely.
Okay. So let's talk about that for a second. I got a buddy that I work with that is a volleyball ref.
Mhm.
He says it's the easiest money that you can make. Would you agree or disagree?
I mean, anymore, it kind of can be just because you have some refs that get up there and all they do is blow the whistle for serve. Like, they don't look for lifts, they look for people in the net. I mean, so yeah, and especially if you're working these club tournaments on the weekend, I mean, that's close to $600. I mean, there's some people in those club tournaments, that's literally all they do.
So
Blow for serve. Boop. That's
one
it.
ref. And then the people usually, I mean, at least the high
In
school games.
a high school match, you'll have two. You'll have an R1 and an R2. So you'll have the guy up on the stand, and then you'll have the guy across the net from him.
And then
That's
you
the
usually
down
have
ref.
parents with flags.
Parents line judge until postseason.
Gotcha.
But club, you only have one ref. And
Yeah.
It's like a up ref, and then like
Club is a joke when it comes to officiating.
they don't call doubles or nothing.
What is a double? Tell me what a double is.
Why? You go ahead.
Yes.
So
She knows what a double is, but she can't tell you what a double
I
is.
can't go in that much
you're
detail.
supposed to set the ball with both of your hands at the exact same time, and a double is when one hits first and the other hits after.
I feel like
So
that
it
would be. I
spins.
feel like that's a backwards name. Like double is I hit them with both. That should be a single.
Yeah.
I think they're going to get rid of that
So
rule
you double
because
tapped
Yeah.
it is what
it
is.
doesn't.
It's a double contact.
Oh, see, I'm thinking about
Like double dribble.
Double dribble.
It's supposed to be one simultaneous contact. That's why you see the good setters, ball comes out nice and clean, not much spin. And the
That's why
not
you
so
gotta get
good
with
setters.
just having your hands close.
Mhm.
It's a fool.
I mean, you would think if you hit it with one hand before the other, that it would shoot the ball to the left or the right.
Lots of times it does.
Slice.
yeah.
And that's why you see lots of times like spin directly over the top. I mean, that just shows follow through. But lots of times the doubles you do see, it's got side rotation on it because that shows which hand got it first.
Hey, if you can start hitting it and you get that slice to where it goes to the left or the right, now talk about forming your shots. That'd be
Right.
the way to do it right there.
He thinks he's a volleyball expert.
But it's illegal. So
What he
Next
said is
question.
illegal.
No one said you have to hit it right at someone. You're supposed to get it on the floor inside the marks.
Yep.
That's all you have to do. If you can
Same
put
as
some,
the game. Hit it
if you
where
can
they
put some
hit.
English on it and get it away from them,
Which is basically the name of almost every game.
tomahawk chalk it. Chop it.
Chalk it. We're
Chop.
chalking it.
Chop
This
it.
is such a rookie league.
Sorry.
We're rookie league here. Rookie ball.
Lil hasn't been on in a while,
Right,
so he's
right,
a little
you're right.
rusty.
You're right.
So, I apologize for my cohorts here, guys. I try to run a professional thing here. Obviously, I am Mr. Professional, and I got these two Jake legs with me. So, this is kind of fascinating. Like, I'm more fascinated every time I talk to you all about volleyball because, like I said, I'm just underhand served. Do you think we need to get to a point with our like elementary and middle school PE classes that we teach people how to play volleyball the correct way?
I mean, we teach every other sport, and I mean, why would you not want to teach the? I mean, the only one I guess you can't teach is football, but I mean,
You can teach. You can even teach
you can
fundamentals.
you
of
can
that.
teach the fundamentals, but I mean, why would you not want to teach the fastest growing sport out there?
So volleyball is the fastest growing sport.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
They did a test a few years ago, and I mean, it was like the percentages were. I mean, volleyball blew everything out of the
I
water.
felt like you came at me really aggressive just now. You're like, absolutely, dummy.
I tend to agree though because there's been 3 new facilities go up in Lexington, if I'm not mistaken, in the last at least year to 2 years. There's been 3 new facilities. So because all the rest of them are jam packed, they were like, why don't we just build another building?
Well, and I mean, that's why, you've got just in Lexington, like when it all started, Love, like Lexington United, that was the only club in Lexington. Well, now you've got Love, you've got Alpha that's, basically Lexington, but it's Georgetown. You've got Lexington High Risers that's just started this year. You've got Mana that used to be known as Cova. Bluegrass Lightning is another one. The head coach at West Jess runs his own club, JBC. So, I mean, that's just in the Lexington area. You've got like 6, 7, 8 clubs that I just named. Yeah. Then you get up into Louisville, and there's umpteenth of however many more you can find, including like you've got Kiva, that's typically a top 5 club in the nation. Mava, Union.
So what does it take to start a club?
Money.
Yeah.
I mean, money, you got to have the resources, you got to have the people. I like to think there'd be some kind of conflict if you're going to use a school to do club stuff just because of insurance purposes, things like that. But, I mean, yeah, and then you just got to – you don't want to just throw something together and it, like, not be a good product and not be a good experience for the girls. Because, I mean, these parents pay a lot of money. Like I don't know what their position – but, like, the few times I've coached clubs, my girls, their dues have been $3,000 and $2,500.
I mean,
That's just club dues.
That's a
not-
serious commitment.
that's
That's not tournament.
Yeah, that's not
fees and stuff.
hotel. That's not hotels. That's not gas. That's not food when you go.
Right.
That's just your club dues.
Yeah, I mean, we're
So, I
soccer
mean-
guys. We've seen that before.
Yeah,
We've
so-
seen.
You don't want to
Clubs
have
come
you don't want to
up.
have a parent taking out, like, for some people, like I've known some parents that they've basically given up one parent is giving up a month's salary to put their kid in club volleyball.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're doing that, you want it to be a
Right.
good product. You want it to be beneficial for all parties.
Right. Well, yeah, and I was just thinking outside the box. Like if you were to start, you talked about the guy in Jessamine County that started his own club.
Mhm.
If you were to start one here, you would think that you would get a draw from the surrounding counties as well.
Potentially. I mean,
I mean, that doesn't necessarily benefit you with, the transfer rule now where people can come wherever they want to. It's like, hey, by the way, we have a job for your father.
right.
You're 6'4". I got a job for your dad.
But I mean, yeah, if it could work itself out, like that'd be awesome to run a club out of here. Just because I mean, that gives some kids, like some parents, just have jobs they can't make it to Lexington by whenever
Right.
practice time would be. So I mean, I'm sure they'd love it to be like, Mom, I've got practice at 5. Well, I don't get off work till it's just at the barn, Mom.
Right.
Oh, okay, I can do that.
What do you all like playing more? Did you like playing high school more, or did you like playing club more?
That's a very hard question because they are totally different.
They're two.
I mean, the correct answer is Coach Craycraft is on the high school team, so I prefer to play
I
high
love
school.
He's
I just
right
love
here.
I love the connection that you build in high school. Like
Sure.
it's something like club, like it's a different, like this is my only year that I've ever played club volleyball. And so like the connection that you have growing with these girls and then going in and playing with a whole new team, like I can't tell you, like it took me 2 or 3 weeks before I could even learn to hit off my setter because I've hit off her every single year that I've played. And so it was just something like completely different. Like I wish we could do traveling. Like I wish like high school could like travel. Like we do the tournament in Tennessee, but I wish like on the weekends we could go like to Tennessee and Indianapolis and stuff. But the girls in high school were just like uncomparable.
The girls you meet in high school is family, just like she said. The girls you meet in club are all there for one reason. They love volleyball. And I'm not saying the girls that I played high school with didn't love volleyball, but these girls are traveling to practice, traveling to tournaments.
Right. I mean, because it's a commitment.
Yeah,
I mean, like
they-
you are committed at this point.
Yeah.
And most girls that you play club with want to play volleyball.
Yeah.
Like I recently started playing with Kiva, and they have 4 juniors that are committed to Kentucky, Wisconsin, Louisville, and Indiana.
Okay. I mean, I've heard of those schools.
Yeah.
So your club with that kind of expansiveness, obviously,
Mhm.
the number one goal is to land in universities
Yeah,
like
if
that.
you're playing club volleyball, you're planning to play college volleyball.
Yeah, and I just looked this up to make sure I was right. They recently created a professional women's volleyball
Yes.
tour, right? Not just the beach type that you see in
No, there's
Olympics.
actually
I
a
mean,
professional
yeah,
women's volleyball league in
Yeah,
the
Edmonton.
United States now.
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I mean, that it gives another destination for if you didn't want to do the medical field and you get past Asbury and you're
True.
like, I want to pursue a
Well,
career
up
there.
until this year, I mean, they had Athletes Unlimited. I'm sure you guys have heard of them because they do several sports. But other than them, up until like if you were a premier volleyball player in college, you had to go overseas to play professionally.
Yeah.
Like period. And still some of them do because the best of the best volleyball players are international players. Like, I mean, that's just how it is. But the fact that now it's offered, a professional league is offered in the United States, you're seeing a lot more like I don't know how many girls from Kentucky are like, well, Leah Edmond and Allie Stumler, well, Allie Linehan now, they're on the same team down in Atlanta. So like you're going to see a lot more of those college duos and those great college players. You'll still get to see them, and then the atmosphere. Like I got to see snippets of videos like at the first game in Omaha and the first game in Atlanta, and I mean, you've got like 10, 12, 14,000 people at these games. First year league, just out of the gate, and you're filling arenas.
Those numbers are bigger than the WNBA. They don't draw that kind of
It would
crowd.
probably be a much better product than the WNBA, if I'm being honest. I don't know if y'all have watched the WNBA game lately. They're not very good.
It's true.
Listen,
Hey, speaking the truth.
I don't cut corners.
Caitlin Clark ain't there yet.
And she's not going.
She's not going to help it that much.
But that's for our next show.
So I'm amazed. So do we have I talked about the Hall of Fame. Do we have you think about like basketball, they have the 1,000-point club. Do we have all that set up for volleyball? Like different 1,700 assists?
Yeah,
Is that
I've
what-
recently started, keeping when we got Huddle, I started keeping stats immediately just because I mean, these girls put countless hours in the gym.
Right.
And sure, yeah, like I'm one of the biggest as far as pushing a team atmosphere. Like we're not out here to pad any one person's stats. We're out here to achieve team goals. If you happen to, achieve something individually, awesome. We'll make sure we hit that at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Okay. And so in keeping stats, like, she got a plaque because I cut it at 1,500 assists because as a setter, you touch the ball more than anybody on the floor.
So you kind of cheated is what he's saying.
No, it's not cheating. It's just you have a lot of opportunities.
Right.
Like she might set 1,000 balls, but she only gets to swing it, 250 of them.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's if she gets 1,000 assists on those 1,000 balls, she'll get 250. Like it's kind of messed up to immediately.
So she has to start bulldogging her way and be like, "No, that's mine."
So, but she had a little over 1,700 assists for her career. Presley Cord finished with 2,000 right on the dot. Ansley Shields finished with a little over 1,100 kills for her career. So she has 1,000 kills. And I would love to get, like, if you all seen the 1,000 kill, I would love to have one of those. And I mean, like I said, I don't want an individual one because you'd have to have 1,000 kill, this for this. But if I could just get one generic one and we just put up there like Ansley Shields this many kills, Grayson Cord this many, Brianna Turpin this many digs, Presley Cord this many, and it's just like and it just gives like the parameters on it, like 1,000 kills, 1,000 digs, 1,500 assists, like boom. And
even if it was just your overall leader, maybe like a board that
that'd be cool too.
So I think it's I think it's something that's because it is a team sport, but still ultimately that is pretty cool to see your name up like I did that.
Yeah, I mean like because you look at ones like Ansley. Ansley started as an 8th grader. Just at the time in the program, the head coach at the time, we had a senior and we had Ansley, and she's like, "Bradley, I don't know what to do." And I said, "Well, you have an 8th grader here that we have for 4 more years, or we have that senior right there that we've got for about 15 more games that I don't think she's going to get any better."
Right. She pretty much is what she is.
And the head coach at the time looked at me. She's like, "I got you." And we put Ansley in. And we never looked back.
Right.
And turns out she's a school leader in kills, so made the right decision there.
Right.
But yeah, it's awesome for them to be able, 20 years from now, they'll be able to come back. And if that's something like that's hanging there, like, Mom, is that you? Like, yeah, I played here back in the day.
I tell you, back in the day, I was a good athlete.
Yeah.
I don't look like it now, but I was back. I tell my kids that all the time. I'm fat and out of shape now, but I was a good athlete at one point.
Yeah.
So, what about coaching? Do y'all have any desire maybe to coach later on down the road?
100% yes.
Okay. Like club level, you talking about high school?
Probably club, just because those girls in club, it's just so different. Like you coming into practice and it's like, we're doing this today, we're doing this. It's like you get probably 20 things done in 2 hours. And I don't even know, like yes, of course you start and you don't know any of these girls, but then you learn. But also I love the high school, the environment and how much people put into high school. And like your hometown. I love that too. So it'd be a decision that I'd have to decide.
If I do it, I'd want to do high school. Just like I'd want to establish myself somewhere and just watch them grow over the years, like see the progress in them.
Well, something I noticed, and I think you all are some of the big, the big help with that, your class, is that now it's heavily attended. Like you all get quite the crowd, quite the student support out. So I think that shows too how much the sport is growing.
Yes.
Absolutely. That region year like really kicked it off. Well, even the year before that, even the COVID year, like they started drawing a little bit, and then it's stayed the same, if not grown a little bit as far as crowd size from then on. And it's just because we clearly like we're not sitting here undefeated state champions, so we're not getting the amount of wins we want.
Right.
But like we still put a good, highly competitive product on the floor, and
and it's indoors.
It's indoors, so you never have to worry about getting rained or snowed on.
Yeah.
And these girls give you something to look forward to. Like whether you walk out of the gym and we've won or lost, like you're looking forward to coming back to the next game.
And that they've all, like these two have said multiple times, left everything out on the court for that game. They've given you your all. So you feel like you've earned that your money was well worth it.
Yeah, and like there's things like I could look at from a volleyball, like, skill standpoint that we didn't do well after a match. Like, we didn't hit well tonight. We didn't set well tonight. Our defense was slow, like whatever. But effort's one of those things that I very rarely have to question out of my groups just because I tell them, I said, no one's going to walk out there We won a regional title. We're going to have a target on our back from now until forever. So you're going to have to own that, and you're going to have to bring your best because you're going to get everybody's best shot.
Right.
And that includes like the Scott Highs now. Whenever they come to us, they know they got to bring it.
Because
we got to bring it.
They want to knock you up like, oh, well, they're just, they think they're up and coming. We just want to knock them back down.
Exactly.
So if we have somebody out there listening that is considering coming out and playing volleyball, do you have any off-season stuff that they can be a part of? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, the best thing I can say is follow we've got Moco Volleyball on Facebook. I think it's the same name on Instagram. And that's where I'll make all the posts as far as dates, when everything's going to start, where we're going to be at, what we're going to be doing, things of that nature. And I mean, just, come out and give it a shot. I mean, a lot of people I feel like don't, just because, it's new. It's not easy to learn. But I mean, these girls started somewhere too.
Right.
And I mean, look at like Allie Dillon's one of the best ones. Like Allie Dillon is a 2-year player.
Yeah.
And I could have 3 girls sitting here playing that are going to play in college, because Allie very well just as easily went and played college volleyball.
Right.
She just, she made her mind up early. She's like, I want to go to school, but great respect for her. But the opportunities were out there.
Right.
So I mean, it's one of those, if you want to pick up a sport randomly, like, do it.
Right.
You just have to be willing to put in work, open mind. Like, that's one thing I can say about Allie. She came in every day. She didn't know lick of nothing really when she started, but she was always willing to listen, learn, and if I told her like, hey, you need to go out here, you need to transition here to work on this, you could see it being applied immediately.
Right.
Might not have been perfect, but it was being applied, and she was working to get better at it. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Wes, you want to name our athlete of the week for us?
Well, our athlete of the week was from our girls wrestling team.
First year girls wrestling team. They had their first KHSAA had their first sanctioned girls state championship this year. Yep.
And Brooklyn Banfield made the semifinals and came in 5th in the state.
That's awesome.
So congratulations to Brooklyn.
Our Kim Soft athlete of the week.
That's right.
So, well, Coach Grayson, Morgan, thank you guys for coming out and joining us for a little bit.
I have a major announcement.
You're cutting me off again.
Sorry.
You gave me the finger again.
I just wanted to make sure that we got this in. While you all have been doing your show, me and Mr. Eric Jones have been doing a little bartering over here. And we have a new sponsor for our show.
Wow.
We've been looking for this sponsor for our road show for a while now, right? Because everybody keeps demanding to see our pretty faces out in the mobile studios, right?
Yes.
So
we got space for radio.
So Kelwell Commissary and Simply Secured have teamed together, and they will be our sponsor for our road show.
Well,
I like the road show.
We are pro wrestling at our core. This is essentially the mega powers uniting. I mean, that's what this is. This is the mega powers. I mean,
absolutely.
We need to seal it with a handshake in a minute.
Absolutely.
Well, that is awesome. Thank you guys so very much. So, Coach, again, Grayson, Morgan, thank you guys for coming out. Do not be strangers, okay? We want to hear all about your college adventures, and that you're first team all conference and you're all American and all the getting drafted, whatever happens.
If you're walking by on a Tuesday and you see us doing this, by all means, walk in and just say hi. Just say hi. We'll put you on the microphone for 5 minutes.
When you're in school next year, you want to just call into the show. We'll talk to you that way too.
Yeah.
And Coach, we can't wait to get you back in towards the start of the season, so you can give us a rundown of how the year is shaping up.
Right.
And I have no doubt that the success is going to continue that you have been able to start.
Yep. Looking forward to it.
Well, we're looking forward to it as well. So, guys, there you have it for this week's edition of the Community Trust Bank Coaches Corner, presented by the From Corner to Corner podcast. If you haven't already, go out and give us a like on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Remember to help us promote our Coaches Corner show and our Kim Soft Athlete of the Week program here in Montgomery County, and in Menifee County, our Brett Wehunt's Kentucky Farm Bureau Athletes of the Month program. We do what we do for our community and our surrounding communities, and our teams, our coaches, and our community, and our students and our community. They deserve it.
Go community.
We'll catch you next week.
Stay safe, friends.
Absolutely.